Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick video kind of talking about why I continue to still upload on Teepublic, Redbubble, Zazzle, Society6, and all these other websites. Guys, it comes down to one really main concept. If you know anything about me, you know I'm basically a promoter of diversification. And I don't look at one business model as a model for me that's a saving grace. Especially at this point into the game, after everything I've learned, I never really depend on any source of income. I like to stay diversified as possible. And if you go and watch some of my older videos, you'll see that I kind of talked about this before, where I said if I have a business model that's making me 10K, right, I would rather take an income half of that, right? So 5K, but it would be from 5 different strategies, or as many as possible, right? So imagine I'm making 1K here, 1K here, 1K here, 1K here, and 1K here. That's $1,000 a month from each business model. To me, this is better than taking the 10K. Now, in the reality, in real life, you don't get to take anything. You have to go earn it. It's not like someone's giving you these businesses for free. You got to go build it. You got to go earn it. But you get my point. The point of everything that I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, Redbubble, Teepublic, Zazzle, Society6, there's a lot of hate for these platforms, and I can understand why. But at the end of the day, these platforms are a distribution channel for income. It's not a lot of income, depending on who you are and your work habits. However, it's still a distribution of income. And the same way that it's a distribution of income, the distribution still kind of stands that there's a bell curve to almost everything in society. See, here we have the majority of people who do the average. So there are people over here that will get very, very low results. These are effectively the people that get no money, make no money on Redbubble, no money on Teepublic, no money on Zazzle, Society6, etc. And these are people who stay there permanently. If you're listening to this and you haven't made any money, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be here forever. It just means that you're there temporarily, right? But this is a section where people make absolutely no money and they just stop. They just don't do any kind of work. And if you notice, if this line right here, this vertical line represented work, okay, the amount of work, the people who are stuck here making no money, well, these people don't really do any work. The people here who are very at the top, which I like to say I'm one of them, and I don't say that in arrogance. I say that because I'm a realist and I'm a professional at what I do, and I work very, very hard to get where I am. I'm sitting here with the other high performers, whether I'm here, or whether I'm here, it doesn't really matter. But the point is I exist past the average, right? Because this represents the average. I exist past the average because I do more work than the average does. And so, therefore, I will make more money. Now, this is not always a golden rule. There are people who do a lot of work but don't move the needle. And there are reasons behind this. And it comes down to skill. It comes down to conscientiousness. It comes down to a lot of things. And I'll give you a perfect example. There are people who run in place, and then there are people who run distances. The guy who's running in place is not covering the same distance as the guy who's, running forward. And that's kind of a metaphor, if you will, or a simile for the industry as a whole in print on demand. There are many people who might be working and uploading designs, but they're missing the core foundations of success on these platforms. They're missing the idea on how to design properly, how to tag properly, how to title properly, right? These are core foundations that need to be learned prior to going out there and doing all the work necessary or spending a massive amount of hours. That's the first thing. The second thing is that something that allows me to, by the way, keep me here is I've done work way before Redbubble had a bad reputation. I've been on Redbubble, Teepublic, all these kind of platforms way before people talked about them in a negative way. So I have the hours clocked in, right? If I wanted to walk away from these platforms completely, I'd still get paid every single day for a very long time because I've done the work. I've put in the hours. Now, the people who belong here in the average, these people, they typically spend the average amount of time and they generate the average amount of sales. The reason why this is so high, this area here, because this represents population, right? The population here is few and far between. The population here is few, but the population here is massive. And the reason why the population here is massive is because if you look at most people who try Redbubble or get into it, they're typically people that might not create more than a certain amount of designs every week or every month. Maybe they log in a few times a month. They don't really give that much effort. And, their sales pretty much correlate with that, right? Whatever the average seller makes. I don't really know what the average seller makes, but whatever the average seller makes, right? So to answer the main question of why do I still upload? I spent years and years studying the game on these public marketplaces, and I've really, really fine-tuned and perfected my craft on them. And if I just walked away now after everything I learned, it wouldn't be almost honorable for me. It wouldn't make sense, especially from a financial standpoint, right? Imagine you spent 10 years becoming a track star, and you really are really good at track, and you honed in your craft, and the final time where you can finally run a marathon and show the world your skills, you just decide to quit altogether. Not even forget even doing the marathon. You just decide never to go run again. That probably doesn't sound like something realistic, right? Most people who are primed athletes in that sort of way stick to their athletic venture, whatever it is. I bet you Michael Jordan still wakes up every morning, goes shoot some hoops. He might not be playing competitively, but he doesn't walk away from the sport entirely. I say that to say is that I've invested so much time, so much effort, and I've succeeded so much with these platforms, it would be unwise for me to just simply walk away. Now, to say that, I also say that times are changing, and there are different platforms that arise, and there are different platforms that die. I don't have the magic crystal ball. I don't know what platforms are going to die. I don't know what are going to rise, but I do have some indications. For example, Society6 is a platform that has went through a purge, basically cleaning up accounts that essentially don't want to pay for the platform, are stuck down to 10 designs. That creates a huge market opportunity for us Society6 sellers. And I've been working so hard on Society6, probably not this month or last month, but all from month 4 of this year to probably about month 6 of last year. I've been working like a madman on the platform. Now, I was working previously, but not like a madman. I've really turned it up. The point is that there are different platforms that are up and down. And also, not to mention, I look at these platforms, like I said, like an ability or a place for me to diversify my income. I'm at the point now where it's not like I need income from any kind of platform or any kind of business. I'm well past that point now. Now it's about the fun of the game. And for me, when I turn on my computer screen or turn on my phone and I look through my emails and I get an email from Society6 or an email from, Redbubble that I'm getting a transaction or something wiring into my bank account, or, the remittance advice from Redbubble or something like that, I'm getting some sort of payout or payment, it just makes my day a little bit better because I know that I've worked hard for something and I'm getting the rewards of it. Something I do want to point out, though, and I kind of want to mention this because sometimes this gets overlooked on my channel, is that although I talk about money all the time on my YouTube channel, money's not the only thing that lives in my life, right? It's not like I'm worshiping money or I need money to survive. Obviously we all need money to survive, but it's not like I'm obsessed with money. I'm more obsessed with the concept of living an enjoyable life. And for me, it's fun to do Redbubble, Teepublic, Zazzle, and I'm well past the money part. Now, don't get me wrong, money is a huge benefit of it, but it's the same thing as like YouTube for me. I get paid from these YouTube videos in the form of AdSense. I think I get paid like $14 a day or $12 a day. That money is not a significant amount of money to me whatsoever. In fact, I could make more in one stock trade than the whole entire year of what I'll make on YouTube in just a single day. So for me, it's not about the money. it's about the enjoyment. I'm not going to sit down all day and do absolutely nothing. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to do things that interest me. And I, for example, like working out, right? If I like working out, I like struggling, I like going through the pain of working out, I'm not going to just stop doing it because I might be in shape. That's not the idea, right? So the whole point here is that, yes, there are a lot of people that don't like these platforms. There's a lot of hate behind them. But I'm not going to base my life on what other people think. I'm going to do what I want to do. And for me, I have goals to diversify my income. I just enjoy doing that. I never like the idea of creating a ton of income from one avenue. And also, I do it for the fun of it. So that's really what it comes down to. So I hope you guys can see my point of view. And I wonder that, not that I wonder, but I know there are people out there wondering, when I make a Redbubble video or a Teepublic video, why am I still talking about the platform? But that's simply why I talk about it. I genuinely enjoy being on the platform. And of course, no platform is perfect. No business is perfect. There's no entity that's perfect out there. You know, even building your own website is not going to be perfect. There are going to be things you would want to change. But at the end of the day, these are one of the business models that I personally enjoy, and it's fun to me. That's really what it comes down to. So hopefully I answered your guys' question. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Bye.